Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been. Nothing's changed since the 70s. Nothing. Except people train not as hard.
You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because the attempt to get more makes you into something better. All the time. Don't let anybody tell you, hey man, you know, you should just be happy with, no! You should double your business.
It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem. Real problem. I can understand you misunderstand me running down the street, shirt off, fuck this, no, yeah. I can get it, I get it. If you misunderstand what I'm saying right now today, the problem is you. And you don't want to fix it.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
You have to understand, whether good economy or bad economy, it's difficult to be successful. It is difficult to be financially successful. And think about all great things in life. Aren't all the best things in life difficult to achieve? I can tell you this, that abs are difficult to achieve. Easy to maintain, difficult to achieve, because it takes zero motivation, zero self-inspiration, zero discipline to sit on the couch and keep eating bonbons. However, it takes absolute motivation, dedication, discipline, consistency, focus, pushing through adversity to get up, to stop making excuses, to go to the gym, to train every day, and to eat clean, and to eat in a way that burns fat, maintains muscle, to get those abs.
Hard work looks horrible. It's not motivating. It's not motivating at all. It ain't like Rocky round 14 where he gets knocked down and goes like this to Apollo Creed. Looks like a man being stuck in a fucking dungeon and there's no fucking way out. But you got the fucking key. But you refuse to use it.
I have to think, what things are they deprived of? Because they'll have a much stronger predictive power than trying to say, how do I motivate this person? Look at what they lack. A reminder that the life that I'm living today is a result of the work that I did 6 and 12 months ago. And so if you were to look at my calendar 6 and 12 months ago, then you might extrapolate out to what I'm doing today. But just like people want the immediate reward, they also see their current condition as a result of the behavior they're doing today.
Bro, you gotta fucking stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. But some people, they get caught in that pattern, and it might be their parents, it might be how they were raised, somebody might have told them they were useless real early on, it's stuck, and they never feel like they get enough reassurance, they never feel like they get enough motivation, and they feel like other people get more, and they look at all these other people, how come he gets that, how come she gets this?
Every time you watch or you consume a piece of content, or you read a book, if you think, what behavior am I going to change as a result of this? If the answer is nothing, you wasted your time.
If you fall down and drop the weight on the floor, who cares? Who cares? But if you make it, I care. I want that. I want you to fail, and I want you to get up and do it again. The same thing in life is the same thing here. If you can do this, you can do anything. Anything. Right now, you're 5% away. 5% away from being a champion.
So the more you master any skill, the more ways you can win. And so and that's ultimately what makes the rich get richer, is that because everything is so positively reinforcing, because they start to develop skills, then they do more and more of it. And as they do more of it, the rich get richer, the better get better, the better become best. And then everyone who's starting out is like, how on God's earth does this guy have this work ethic? But it's really that he has high levels of skill. I define learning by same condition, new behavior. And so when you go to a video game and you battle through the level and you battle the boss, if you keep doing the same thing to the boss and you keep losing, then you have not learned, because you have the same condition and the same behavior. And so I often say that, like, for anyone who's listening to this podcast, if the goal is to get better and you're like, man, I really want to learn something from this podcast. If you listen to this podcast and then you're in the same exact conditions as you were before, and then you do not change your behavior, you learned nothing.
God, I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, because it's about 75% of you is still fucking in there. Still chained up. Because you just didn't want to find your willpower. Didn't want to find your soul, your will, your heart, your determination, your guts, your courage.
Right? Voluntary confrontation with chaos and malevolence. That's the pathway to, well, that's the pathway to the eternal resurrection. That's the fundamental hero story. And that's the ultimate treasure. That's another way of thinking about it, right? That's how you gain your life, by losing it.
I wake up, while it still sucks, it's just life. You don't sit back and like, oh my God, like, I have days I don't want to do it, but I know I'm going to do it. I know from years of just doing it.
The only thing I could control is that I would work, is that I would get better. And the key point there was that it wasn't just working for work's sake, it was working with the intention to improve. And so you want to do repetitions, because by doing things more times you get better at them, typically just by accident. But if you're deliberate about the point of doing this, when I started working at a gym, going from a white-collar job, it wasn't because I wanted to become a trainer for the rest of my life. It was because I wanted to learn the skills.
Each level comes with higher levels of family members telling you can't do it. People telling you that you're not qualified. People warning you that it's too risky, and what if you lose it all for your family and you guys end up destitute? See, external resistance isn't just in business. External resistance comes from friends and families who have the best of intentions for you. They mean well, but they're telling you that they doubt you. In not so many words, they're telling you that they doubt you. They're telling you that I don't think you have what it takes. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to work harder to get to that next level.
This is all you can do. There's no magic pill or a magic potion. All you can do is outwork the man that God created, or woman, in you. And what that looks like is unfun. That's why I said, do not do a documentary on me. Because people will not see the truth. They will see what they want to see. Is, I don't want to live like that. Good. Good. And you will live exactly the way you live now, questioning who you are, wondering what is possible, wondering what you are capable of doing. That's how that looks.
Every person who's listening to this right now has listened to 1,000 fucking podcasts, and they're in the exact same condition, and yet they have not changed their behavior, which means 1, they have not learned, and 2, they are dumb.
If you don't take that last 5%, it's a you knock on somebody else's door, I guarantee you. There's only a certain window of opportunity for success. This is your opportunity of a lifetime. Take the 5%. Go the 5% distance. It's going to be scary as all head. It will drive you to the ground. You'll fail a few times. You'll fall on your face. Get up. Keep getting up. Keep getting up. And if you don't, you have to be happy for the rest of your life. If you don't take the last 5%, you have to be happy the rest of your life knowing you went to somebody else's door and knocked on their door, and you could have been that guy.
And if you wanted to design the perfect version of you, the savage competitor, the gladiator at the end of the life that has the scars and the scraggly beard, but has been through shit and has done things and has realized their potential, what would you do to maximize the likelihood that you become that savage hero? Would you give them the padded lifestyle? Would you give them the immediate win? Would you give them the easy life? Probably not. You would probably put you through what you're going through right now to become that person. And so why would you resent the chapter you're in? Because it's a requirement for becoming who you say you want to be.
When your friends start to say, you've changed, remember it's because they don't know how to say, you've grown.
And we're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger.
That is the biggest thing I can ever do in my life, is I became that guy. That I once looked at all these guys, now look at myself like, God, who the fuck can do that? I can. But what it takes is a discipline that no one can ever even, they don't understand it. They don't understand, but everybody has the ability to do it, but they just don't want to. They want to keep asking questions and keep going to seminars.
I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day, so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. And that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, and do that for 20 years, what do you have?
I think one of the largest tenets of masculinity for the largest period of human time is ignoring how you feel and doing what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to do it. We feel things, but jobs must be done, whether we are happy or sad. And this is also disappearing from the world.
Most people, like, for me, he's just crazy. That's why I don't like talking about it, man. I know I'm not crazy. I know what I had to do to get where I had to go. People look at it as crazy because they're people that just, if you can't imagine yourself doing something, the person that's doing it is crazy. Because in your mind, the logic behind it, it doesn't compute. Therefore, you have to give somebody a title. And the title for me is usually, he's crazy, he's this, he's that. No.
Jesus said, if one of those stinky Roman soldiers asks you to carry something for 1 mile, and you get to the 1 mile marker, I want you to keep on walking. And if you'll just keep on walking beyond what people expect of you, every step that you take beyond what people expect, you build tremendous loyalty. But it's also transformative for our life.
So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school, or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
And if they don't support your goals, they're not your friends. Think about that. If I said, hey, I've got this goal, and I said, hey, there's this human being and he wants to get you to not have the goal, would you describe them as a friend or an enemy? Think about it. Some of the people in your life that you call friends are actually your enemies. You just don't know it.
The idea is that you're going to be best prepared to take on the true difficulties of your life by confronting the potential existence of all of those problems before they make themselves known.
But the difference between experts and beginners is that experts have more ways to reward themselves in a given condition. And so if you think about an expert salesman, there are so many interactions they can have that they are good at, that they can find rewarding and positively reinforcing. And so the goal is to develop enough skill that your external environment and conditions can deliver enough positive feedback that it can become self-sustaining.
You're lazy, you know exactly what to do. Because even me, in my state of, I can't read or write, I knew exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. It sucks to do it. It sucks to wake up every morning of your life and say, God, man, I'm not smart. So guess what I gotta do? I gotta study the same shit that I got one of the highest scores in the nation on, and do it again. It's not just there.
Your could be rich. You could be rich, man. But you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man. I hate it when I see young people wasting their time, wasting all this technology got, just bull.
So the key to your 20s is to be learning, to be constantly learning and your mind opening and learning skills.
Why not now? There never was a better time.
Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. Sometimes you can read a David Goggins book because I was all this shit and then a lot more of fucked up. But if you don't have a little flame, just barely, you're done. I can't light it for you.
Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not gonna happen. Tell me it's gonna fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite.
I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
Your ability to suffer, endure, outwork must be greater. You must be willing to extend yourself to the limit with no guarantee of success. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough?
But your friend group has a disproportionate sway over your behavior. And so your reference group is one of the #1 correlations with how big your life gets, or rather, the goals you achieve. Now, they've done this studies in terms of finance because it's easy to quantify, but your reference group, the 5 people you compare yourself to, not necessarily spend the most time with, but compare yourself to, are the ones that determine your future.
I made one for myself on how I want to be. Every day I walk this earth and I see average all over the fucking place. And they want to ask me, how did you do it? I can't tell you how, because you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. You're gonna continue being out, because every day you wake up, like he says, it's not like get the coffee, make the pancakes, kiss the girl, kiss the kids. You wake up, right to work. Immediately your mind is in action. No one wants to do that. No one. And I don't blame them. But don't be mad when you're laying there in your fucking bed and you're in the fucking hospital and you're 70, 80, 90 years old.
Many dreams die while suffering. And many of us out here have suffered. And when you're suffering, I'm not talking about just physically. I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually. It could be a relationship. When you're suffering, you give up on the very things that you wanted the most. When I was going through pararescue, I wanted to be a pararescueman so bad. But that water haunted me. So when the suffering got too much, my dream died. Trust me at that. And I'm gonna end with this. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done.
If you see that you have an empty calendar, most people assume that if someone asks you for that time, it's therefore theirs. And it's only not theirs when someone else has claimed it, which means that your time only belongs to other people. And then you're surprised by the fact that your investment of time has yielded nothing for you when you've given the only and most valuable asset that you have to everyone else, who often give a very poor return on it for you.
Most people are missing something because they don't know who they are.